You can watch SeemsGoodMagic.com team members live stream at www.twitch.tv/Inez27. If you enjoy our videos, you can support us by going to SeemsGoodMagic.com, clicking on eBay store, and purchasing some singles or playsets. Thanks and enjoy. Hey, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here with another 8-4 Gatecrash draft. We've opened Boros Rekner, who's worth a bunch of tickets, and is an excellent card, actually. What else have we got in here? We've got Syndic of Tides, which is quite good, extort creature. Sage's Road Denizen, which is actually a card I've grown to like quite a bit. Commandos is actually perfectly fine. Not as a first pick, but it's a perfectly fine card. Verdant Haven actually has some decent applications if you're 3-color or if you've got a lot of 5 or 6, 7 drops or whatever. What else? Ruination Worm is a pretty strong creature actually. Looks a little underwhelming, just being a 6-mana 7/6, but it's actually pretty good. And Killing Glare is an excellent removal spell. Simic Flux Mage is actually a very good Simic card. I've had mixed feelings about it early on, but I like it quite a bit now. We're going to take Boros Rekner because it's a very good card. Okay, follow-up pick. We've got some options. Krakenura, and it's actually fine with Rekner if you're playing, you could be straight Gruul, or you could be Gruul Boros, something like that. That's fine. Whispering Madness is a cool card, but I don't really like it all that much. It's a little bit too narrow for me. I can see it ending somebody pretty fast, but I think we probably want the Krakenura. I like this creature quite a bit. It's good at just holding down the fort. It's certainly better than Shamble Shark in my opinion. I wouldn't mind getting the Shamble Shark too, actually. But let's just take the Krakenura. I think it's the strongest card left in this pack. Alright. Well, Frilled Oculus works really well with Simic. Slaughterhorn keeps us a little more just straight Gruul, which is probably the best idea for now. Just stick with another straight green pick, and then we'll see if Simic's a little more open. Boros Charm is very strong, though, so I could take that just to pair up with the Reckoner. I'm not opposed to that. I mean, I probably just want the Boros Charm. This card does so many different damn things. Ember Beast is fine as well. Dimir Charm is fine. I think we just take the Boros Charm here. Possibly Boros Gruul, but let's just take the Boros Charm. It's good enough. Alright, so options. We can do Scar Goliath, who I think is actually pretty good. He is 8 mana, 9/9 trample, though. Costs 7 mana to Blood Rush. It's a little bit expensive, no doubt. Could take the Guildgate. Could also take the Massive Raid. Could take the Burning Tree Emissary, which I'm not opposed to. It actually still works in Boros as well, just not as effectively. It's kind of cool that it gets you the green mana, though. I think it's actually interesting enough here where I want to take it over the Massive Raid, which is good removal. And actually, Angelic Edict is pretty good, too. I'm going to take the Emissary for interest's sake. Haven't gotten a chance to play it a lot, and I'd like to. Alright, got Madcap skills, very strong. Aerial Maneuver is an excellent trick. Nav Squad Commando, as I already mentioned, was very good. Scab Clan Charger is very good. I think we're just taking the Arrows of Justice, because it is a removal spell, and we're definitely on color with it, so we're going to do that. Good picks in there for us, though. Wow, now foil Whispering Madness. That's interesting. We can do Skinbrand Goblin, who's just a 2-drop creature. Can also do Assault Griffin, which is a 4-drop creature. I think we just take the Skinbrand Goblin, get us a 2-drop creature. That's also a combat trick. Assault Griffin is a better creature, but usually when you're Boros, you want to be a little more aggressive. Not that we have to be, but I think Skinbrand in a vacuum might be better than Assault Griffin, just because it's 2 mana cheaper and it's a combat trick. I think that's enough for me to like it more here. I'm not a huge fan of Hellraiser Goblin. It can be really good, but I feel like it's a little too, what's the word? It's a little too dangerous. I mean, you have to attack in, you know. We can do Night Watch, sets you up for Battalion, which is pretty good in Boros. We could take the Ripscale Predator, which I think is actually the pick. I don't really like Bomber Core very much. It's fine, but I don't really like it. It's also Snapjaw, which is fine. Gets me a little deeper Gruul. I think I like the Predator the most because it keeps me both Boros and Gruul. Both of those avenues are open. Possibly both, if I can get good enough fixing for it. Guess we'd take the Furious Resistance. Could end up a fatter Boros deck. I've done it before. I'm okay with that. I'm going to take the Nav Squad Commando here. I think it's good enough to take. I like it. Alright, I'll take a Bomber Core over a Tiger. I mean, 2-drop creatures are usually pretty welcome. If you get enough of them, especially. Alright, we tabled the Ember Beast, which I'm going to take here. I like Wildwood Rebirth. We already have one Blood Rush creature, right? So, could get some more. Taking another Commandos. This card's perfectly fine. I actually like it when you're trying to be defensive and win. If someone's trying to aggro you down, it can be an effective strategy to just sort of getting a 5 toughness guy for 5 mana, and then he becomes a late game, pretty solid attacker. Neither of those matter. And yeah. Alright. This is kind of cool. Symbol of the Legion. If I can get defensive, I'd like this card more. I think this card's actually still fine, though. It's a little bit slow, no doubt, and Mark for Death's fine as well. And Pit Fight's actually the strongest card, probably. Skyjack, too. I mean, there's just plenty of good cards in here. I'm kind of feeling like we're going to be a little bit of a slower deck. So I'll take the Assemble the Legion. Just really good if you can survive. I do like Pit Fight in here with Ember Beast. Oh my god, it's so good with Boros Reckoner too. This card is strong, but it's slow. It takes like 3 to 4 turns before you're really getting enough pressure out with it. But I think the effect is pretty powerful. I mean, maybe we're not as slow as I think yet. We're only on pack 2. I'm going to take the Pit Fight. Change my mind. Just, it's so good with Boros Reckoner. I can't help myself. Alright. We can do the Ground Assault. Gets us a little deeper Gruul. I feel like we probably want to be... I mean, we're still in this weird in-between phase. Here, I feel pretty safe taking Warmind Infantry, but Ground Assault is such a good piece of removal. And it's so sick with Boros Reckoner, too. It's so insane. I think we want more creatures, though, and Warmind Infantry is one of the best ones, and we're definitely red. I mean, we're 100% red at this point, from what I see. Yeah, we're 100% red. So I want the Warmind Infantry just to make sure that we get some good, solid 2 and 3 drop creatures. Really can't stress that enough. It's so important. Alright, well, I think Syndic is probably a better reason to go into Boros than Disciple is to go into Gruul. I think. Not 100%, but I think that's right. I'm pretty sure this guy's better. Alright, options here. We've got Mugging, Smite, Slaughterhorn, Act of Treason. I think we just take the Mugging. It's a good piece of removal. Lets you get in sometimes. Alright, options here. Pretty much, in my opinion, just the Towering Thunderfist, which is fine. I think the Towering Thunderfist is a good card. Alright, I think here we take the Act, but that is a late Krakenura. We don't have any fixing currently, and Act of Treason's pretty good when you're trying to be aggressive and when you're trying to get Battalion online. So I guess it makes sense. I see. Could take a third Nav Squad Commando. That does seem like quite a bit. Then again, Keyrune gets us to our 5 and 6 a little bit faster. It might be worth it. I don't really like Verdenhaven on the splash, and we probably don't have to do green from what I'm seeing. I don't think we have to do green. You can still play this at 2 red. It's not very good, I admit, but it's fine. Alright, we'll take the Keyrune, just in case. Alright, we'll take the Boros Guildgate here over the Thrall and Transport. Transport's fine with Battalion. I just don't really like this creature very much. Just want some mana fixing at the moment. Alright, we'll take the Gargoyle since we don't even actually have a 4-drop at the moment. Well, maybe it's a little more realistic. We got the Guildgate back. Maybe we will do green. I guess Frenzied Tilling might make sense. I don't know. Sideboard. Take a creature, I guess. So I could splash for Krakenura, probably. Might not be necessary. This gets me there, and this gets me there with it, though. Primal Visitation, not really worth the splash. I mean, I'd like to play Krakenura. I don't have to force it. So I guess we'll just see how this pack ends up here. See what we're looking at. Doesn't look super realistic that I'm playing green. We're still a little bit short on playables. So I'd like to pick up some good Boros cards this pack, but we'll see how that pans out. Well, ask and ye shall receive. Alright, we're taking the Avenger here. Really cool to see that, especially since it's like perfect in the mana curve. Hopefully table and act. It's possible. I think we did it before. This pack's not super deep, but it might be deep enough to table that act. Alright, wow. Wowzers. We get a good pick here. I think we're going to bypass the 7-drop. I do like this guy, and I've played him, but we're kind of good on the top end. So that's another reason why I don't want to take the Cyclops. I kind of want the Cinder Elemental, but Halberdiers and Skyjack are just so good. They're both so strong. Kind of feel like I'm going to need a 2-drop more than I'm going to need a 4-drop Cinder Elemental. This guy is insane, though. He is just a straight-up fireball. Yikes. This is tough. It's a really tough spot to be in. Because I really do want enough. I mean, I feel like I can be pretty aggressive in here. So I kind of want the Halberdier over the Cinder Elemental. I do like this guy so much, though, but I'm hard up for 2-drops here. I mean, Boros in general, it just really wants to get in there. I can play the more late game strategy, it might be smarter, but I'm going to take this Halberdiers. Alright, here I can take the Herbis Protector, but I think I would rather have the Martial Glory combat trick. Works well with Pit Fight as well. Angelic Edict is good, but I would rather have just cheap deck if I can manage it. I think Boros typically works better when it's cheaper, but not all the time. Alright, I think we probably maybe end up playing this. I don't know. We have a decent mana base to support it. Alright, we take another combat trick here. Aerial Maneuver is a pretty good one. Oh, now you're just not giving me any red or green creatures? Alright, we're taking this turd. Probably have enough red creatures to play it. Alright, here we go. Take the Ember Beast over the Scorchwalker. Scorchwalker's good. Ember Beast, I think, is probably a little bit better. I like it in multiples. It's a pretty efficient creature. Ooh, Loyalist or Skyjack. I think Skyjack's some more potential damage. Madcap Skills is cool too. Let's hide this. This is 23 cards, so what do I want to upgrade? I can always use more 2-drops. Probably cutting that. Loyalist is cool. Feel like probably want the consistency of the Skyjack. It's a 3 power. Could take the Riot Gear. I'm not sure how I feel about it in this deck. I guess we take the Shielded. This is cool too, getting Vigilance. We have a couple gates, but let's take the Shielded Passage for sideboard. I don't even really like that card that much, but it's okay. So this is 23 cards. I would prefer to upgrade this and probably the Bomber Core as well. If not, they're both perfectly playable. They're just a little bit on the lower end of the power scale. I've been really impressed with the Thunder Fist. Overall, I think I actually like the Thunder Fist more than the Commandos. Cyclops is cool too, but I don't have a ton of ways to abuse it. And I'd rather just get the Vigilance, I think. I think I actually like this guy more than this guy, believe it or not. So, if I cut these, I'm still in need of another playable. Uh-oh, Hellraiser Goblin. I may have to play him. He does work with Ember Beast. Like I said, though, I don't really like him. Forcing you to attack in is not ideal. Unfortunately, I think this deck may need him just because we're a little bit short on creatures. Just a little bit. It's just a little bit dangerous for me. That's my issue with him. I may play one Nav Squad Commando over the Millennial Gargoyle. I think I like the Commando that much more that I'm willing to pay the extra mana and not have the evasion. But I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to figure it out. Alright, I'll take a hold to gates. It does give Vigilance after all. I guess Vigilance is important with Reckoner. And Vigilance is good with these guys. Vigilance, kind of cool with that, I guess. Not amazingly cool with it, though. I should try this guy out, I guess, but I mean, I'm probably going to. I don't see how I don't. Don't think we're splashing for green. This deck looks fine. We did end up with enough 2-drops, in my opinion. We got 6 pretty decent 2-drops. These 2 being the weakest links. And we have, what, 5 3-drop creatures? Yeah, it's pretty good. This card's actually decent, that Wildwood Rebirth. I mean, we're not playing it because we're not in green, but I think it's actually a pretty cool Gruul card. Alright, maybe I cut the Gargoyle for one of my Nav Squad Commandos, but not 100% on that yet. I just don't really like Millennial Gargoyle that much in here. I guess it's another way that works fairly well with Ember Beast. I don't know. Alright, let's build a deck here. Let's put everything in that could potentially be played. Alright, this is 25 cards, 18 creatures. Guess we wanted to cut one of these. You know, I may run 16 lands in here. Possibly seems greedy to some, but I have a very heavy 2 and 3 drop slot. I only have 3 5 drops, 1 6 drop, couple 4 drops. Guess I could run the Denizen over the Gargoyle just to get my Battalion online a little bit faster. What are all my Battalion creatures? I've got the Bomber Corps, the Skyjack. I kind of like Denizen into Emissary Bomber Corps. And then he attack that's it's possible. How many red creatures do I have? Let me count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 13 red creatures, I guess, justifies this guy. And at 1 mana, it is quite a bit cheaper than the Gargoyle. For getting all of our Battalion online. Alright, I guess I run it like this. I think I'm going to do 16 lands. I just don't want to get flooded with this kind of deck. I mean, I don't want to get screwed either, but I feel like this is the kind of deck where you'd get flooded. We have, like, what are our mana sinks? This guy sort of. This guy's not really, but kind of. We don't really have much of a mana sink at all. So I feel like it's going to be safer to go this route. Okay. So we've got the Guildgate, and we're significantly more red than white. What do they suggest? No green necessary. 9/6. Is 9/6 appropriate? We have quite a bit of 2. So this is really, it's really like 10 red, 7 white. That's probably pretty good. It's not super color intensive. I mean, even Reckoner, it's fine with both colors. We're definitely more red intensive because of the Burning Tree, and the Ripscale Predator. But I think 10/7 is a pretty good distribution. All right, so we're gonna run it like this. See how we do. Got some powerful cards in here. I could see this stealing a draft. It's possible. Decent removal, mugging, some good tricks, a little bit of damage to the face. We look fairly aggressive. All right, so we do need some pretty good draws. This deck doesn't look like it has a ton of resilience. 4/4s can get there. The Commando's fine. This guy's good. So our end game is actually pretty good. And there's not a ton of it, but what we do have is good. And it's just low enough where I think we can support it with a 16 land mana base. So I'm going to run it like this. I'll see you round 1.